everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a challenge that, a collab challenge that I did with AloeSims here on YouTube. It was a lot of fun. She already has her video up, so be sure to check that out, and I'll be sure to link it below too. She did a great job, and basically the challenge slash collab that we wanted to do, we both had two different ideas. So Aloe, I think she prefers to be called Lauren, she wanted to do a English versus American house, because like shortly after meeting and me asking her that I wanted to do a collab, she agreed, and our differences was that she lives in England, and so she wanted to do an English house and have me do an American style house. And I had the idea of choosing a floor plan and seeing how we interpret the floor plan. So we kind of meshed them together, and so we took the same floor plan, which is based off of some floor plan from the website called houseplans or homeplans.com. I think they're both a site, and they're both very good sources if you're not having a lot of luck with figuring out your floor plan. But so we took the two, and I found one, and so I kind of simified it because the dimensions weren't they weren't quite to how things are in The Sims, so we did that, and I think it turned out really well. So we have the same floor plan. She has done an English version, and I've done an American version. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a few hiccups though. So my game actually crashed halfway through, and I had to save, but there was a lot that I did not save, so I kind of had to redo everything, and I couldn't really remember how I did it. So I had recordings and I had screenshots, so this build might be a little more jumpy and a little more with a little more cuts, just because I kept having to flip back to my desktop to see recordings that I had of it before it crashed, basically. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, the kind of build I wanted to do was an American brownstone house. So if you've ever seen a movie based in New York, then you've probably already seen a brownstone before. And basically a brownstone is a home used to describe a home that's made out of brownstone, which is actually I think it's a sort of Jurassic or prehistoric building material. And so yeah, it's a really old material, and it's been used for quite some time, and it's not just used in brownstone houses, it's used pretty much all over the world, but here it was especially used to build these types of homes. So yeah, like I said, if you've seen any movie based in New York, you've probably seen a brownstone house before, and they're really beautiful. And there are some quote-unquote brownstone houses that are not made of brownstone. It's sort of become a term to describe townhomes that kind of look that, I don't know, they're just really narrow and have the same style as a typical brownstone home, minus the building material. It could be brick or plaster or something else. So a brownstone, I almost wanted to do that with this build. So I did end up using the brownstone. It's not my favorite looking material, but that's essentially how real brownstone looks. It can be painted over, sometimes it is, and sometimes the brownstone, it's different shades of brown. So yeah, and brownstone homes can be, they can be pretty much pretty small or quite large. Like oftentimes brownstones are converted to be I guess like multi-unit homes, like I guess apartments, or just a really big home, or sometimes like this one, it's really small. I think this floor plan on the website, it said it was 900 to 1,000 square feet, and yeah, so yeah, okay, moving on to the build. So here, I usually brownstones are surrounded by other houses. Like there's usually no alleys, or like it's just house to house to house, like on a block. But I didn't want to cheat, I guess. I just wanted to focus on this one house. So I decided to just make a sort of like a public park area. I guess it's not really a park, but it's made to look like a park and function like a little seating area on the sides of the house, because the lot I used was actually really big, and that was not intentional at all. So yeah, but at least now, I did play test this. I don't think anybody really came onto the lot to use these quote-unquote public things, but I mean, they look nice. It looks like a park, I guess. But yeah, usually that wouldn't really be the case. They would be paired with other houses, because much of, well, I guess not much of New York, part of where brownstones are popular, so different New York boroughs, it's kind of an urban landscape, depending on where exactly. A lot of the things that define a brownstone house is basically, when I looked at interiors, there were a lot of differences. Like, it can look so different from one house to another. But some common things I found was just that the interiors have a really old style like trim, I guess, because from what I read, brownstones are pretty old. Like, they can be as old as I believe late 1800s to early 1900s. So yeah, they're quite old, and so yeah, and that kind of explains why the trim would be the way it is. And so yeah, another thing was the tall windows, and basically the tall ceiling height. I think that's pretty, from what I saw in the photos. Yeah, so those are some things. A lot of because the houses are so small, things like the bathrooms are kind of small, and the bedrooms are pretty medium-sized. And I think I'm speaking like comparing to other American-style houses, just because from what I've seen, yeah, American homes are they get pretty big. Like, they're a lot bigger than European homes. So yeah, this is pretty small, but I'm sure it's enough room for a lot of people, and people from New York are quite used to this, I guess. So yeah, so here in the kitchen, the kitchen is probably the only modernized part of the build, just because usually the kitchen or the bathroom are the first things, like when you move into an older home, the first few things that get sort of remodeled, just because they're things that can quite date something really well, and it's fine to have dated kitchens, like, definitely, but you know, if you're using it a lot, you want to add like better quality appliances, or just, I don't know, just more streamlined finishes. It's easier to clean, I think, too. But yeah, so this kitchen, it's more contemporary style. Something I've been using, well, really only using it in this build, but I want to use in the future more, is this, like, I don't know the exact name of the rule, but I think it's called something like the 10-30-70, 10-20-70 rule, or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. I suck at remembering numbers, but basically it's a rule that interior designers use to portion off how they use color. So for this kitchen, I think it would be like most of the color, like 70% of the color is white, and then you choose a slightly lesser color. So the next would probably be brown, or the like slight beige tones, and then the smallest amount of color would be the sort of like teal, blue, green color that you see. And so yeah, that helped me really get a lot better at figuring out color, and I just found out about it. So yeah, definitely give it a try. You know, I find that sometimes I do make things too matchy, like it's not very cohesive in color. But yeah, I was really happy with this. I actually made 2 Sims for this. I think it adds to add a little story to your build, and obviously you can adapt the home to your own Sims and their own stories. But what I did was I made 2 Sims. They're a couple. They're a man and a woman, and their professions, I guess, is the woman is a food stylist / blogger / nutritionist, like overall, you know, foodie type person. And yeah, so that explains why they have a really updated kitchen, because it's, you know, the setting for photo shoots and things like that. And so she does all that. The her male counterpart is a professor of architecture, and yeah, I think you'll see little bits and pieces of each Sim like throughout the house, because I don't know, I think that's important. I mean, I think it's totally fine to make builds that aren't directed towards any specific Sim, and I think that that's actually really cool and really easy for people to adapt to their own households. But I don't know, I find it fun, and it makes it really easy to pick like what kind of things go on the house and in and around the house. So yeah, part of the rules of our little collab challenge was you know, to keep the floor plan the same, but you could add windows anywhere, and you, with certain walls, you can do anything, and you can add walls, of course, but I tried not to, just because I don't know, I felt like I was cheating. Not that I was cheating, but I was like, no, I have to I don't want to add anything in. So yeah, and then I saw AloeSims added walls, and I was like, fuck, I probably should have added, I should have definitely added walls. So I kind of just use dividers, and I think that's what a lot of people do in small homes, is they, when they don't have like extra walls to add, they kind of just make do and form their own little separators and their own little walls. But yeah, and I kind of like open floor plans. Like, I think walls can get kind of in the way in certain homes, and but the way that these each of these rooms have their own like little style, a little divider kind of helped in that direction. So yeah, And then in this bathroom, it's a really simple bathroom, like literally just bare minimum. Like they don't use this bathroom a whole lot, like maybe it's just for guests or people visiting. So yeah, or for, I guess it's basically like a powder room, right? Because there's just a toilet. It's not a full bathroom. Yeah, so one thing you'll notice throughout the house is kind of, let me rephrase that. Basically, when doing the research for this home, there were, there's so many different ways that people have interpreted the house and like made it their own and done different things to it. But one thing, a consistent style, I guess, that I felt worked really well with the house was a sort of neoclassical style. And I didn't do a lot of research on neoclassical, but I think the best way I could describe it was like taking parts of the more classical finishings and kind of minimizing it down to just what was necessary and using fresher finishes and fresher colors. So a lot of classical stuff, it doesn't use a lot of black furniture. It's usually like dark woods and really red cherry woods and really saturated brick colors and things like that, and usually just reducing that to a more cohesive and fresher palette. Like here there's a lot of blacks and a lot of like gray stained, what I presume to be walnut colored. Yeah, so sorry for all the jumps. I just really want to skip past all the areas where I was jumping to my desktop and trying to get those reference photos. But yeah, so hopefully you see a little bit of that. I also, in this room, I added a touch of sort of pre-war elements, I guess, because I think a lot of brownstone homes are pre-war, and so that's what I wanted to do here. And yeah, not much going on in this room. It's not meant as like an actual bed, more like a guest room, or yeah, something like that. So here in the living room, I'm sorry, in the bathroom, it's pretty simple. I know it's really jumpy, but I kept switching to my desktop a lot. So yeah, some slight pre-war elements, but with newer, more modern finishes. Yeah, and yeah. So here in the living room. No, I guess it'd be kind of like an not entryway. What is this? It's a hallway, basically, and just making it look like there's some built-ins. And then this little desk was perfect to make it look like a little nook. Like I said, when you have a smaller home, you definitely try and make the most out of the space that you have and is given to you. And so that's what I did here. Just some plants, something here to fill the space. Yeah, they don't strike me as very cluttery people because yeah, I think they have a lot of storage, and they've thought long and hard about how to keep things. And yeah, no, I think their life is kind of I don't mean to make this sound sad, but their life is kind of repetitive, so they're used to their routine and stuff. And so here I just added a chair, a little reading area, and yeah, hopefully you can see the little 10, 20, 70 rule that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, so for this bedroom, I really like the idea of these closets. Not that I think that these Sims would actually use these kinds of closets, but I thought it was a cool addition, and I like the way that they look visually. But when I play tested this, they didn't work, guys. They're not functioning. You can't access anything in there. So, yeah, there is a bathroom. I'm sorry. There is a closet in the ensuite bathroom, in this master bedroom. So you can still do all your changing stuff and things like that. But I think I found out you can't change into a different preset outfit. I think it just takes you to your outfit planning stuff. So definitely maybe fix that if you want. But if you don't really use that function, and you're kind of just, and your sim's always in one outfit, or you don't mind going to create a sim, then you know, you're fine. Just use the closet in the bathroom. So yeah, so here in this room you will see again that sort of neoclassical vibes. Yeah, so you can tell from the long drapes on the windows, and some of the decor is kind of classic looking. I think this stuff is from either apartment stuff or I'm sorry, not apartment stuff, city living, and what's it called? The Art Deco style pack. Yeah. And so yeah, I really liked it. I think it looks very sort of modern, cozy, contemporary, with a touch of classic. I think it works really well for these Sims that I made for this build. And yeah, a lot of greenery. I think that they appreciate greenery. I did put a little, you'll see it later on, I did put a little planter box outside in their backyard. And yeah, they don't strike me as gardeners, but they have it there for when they want to, I guess. I put this little backpack because the guy sim for this is a professor in architecture. He needs to take all his shit probably to school. And yeah, just dialing up the room where I can. Nothing crazy. So yeah, I think looking back now, it is a little cluttered for these Sims. Like, yeah, it's a little bit much, but who knows, whatever. I'm overthinking it, guys. Yeah, I did like this bathroom a lot. It's really similar to the other one. But it kind of has, its own master vibe to it. The bathtub idea is basically the same. There's also a little shower that I added there, some robes. There is a closet in there. It's on to the right side of the door here, so you can get dressed. And yeah, just added some shelves. It's nothing crazy. Like, it is small, but whatever. Out here is the backyard, and I actually didn't know beforehand what a backyard looked like for a brownstone home, but upon looking it up, some people have the most beautiful backyards in their outside of their brownstone house. So I thought that was really cool, and yeah, I think you guys should look them up if you're interested in like landscaping stuff, because it looks really nice. Like, how could you even? Like, it's stupid how nice it is. And yeah, so I figure these Sims like to entertain, and maybe they don't party that often, but when it happens, they like to have friends over and things like that. And yeah, so we are coming down to the end of the build. Please check out AloeSims' build. I will link it below. It was really cute. She used a lot of really cute CC. So if you like that, head on over there. So yeah, until next time, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.